Lambs is here and said thanks, Bale. I think it's the first time I've ever had thanks from a Chelsea fan.
Oh God, honestly, you couldn't write it because you know what, guys, there was a little part of me. Actually, do you know what? A big part of me. I didn't want this Conference League. I didn't want it. And it's funny how we decide to turn up and win the game, and then we gift Chelsea top four. But you know what? I kind of like that because this is something that I can use in future. They better remember this. We've given them top four. If we hadn't won top four, that isn't theirs. That is not theirs. So prime Lambs, all you Chelsea fans, you better remember this. You better remember this.
They ain't gonna remember this.
No, they're not. They're still gonna hate us. I don't, it's fine. We're rivals at the end of the day.
It kind of moves us on nicely to obviously Bale. I mean, I think he scored. I think I was doing my homework before we came on. I think he scored 11 Premier League goals in 20 appearances. I think that's right. So, with that being said, Max, I feel like we need to keep him because I know the money's an issue, but when you spread it out across the season, it's only 15 mil. You're never going to get a player that's going to pump out
of his caliber for 15 million. I mean, the Leicester defence kind of just fell apart for his goal, but how exciting was it? To see Gareth Bale driving forward, and then unfortunately the finish didn't go in and hit the post, whatever. But he does look so happy. He just looks so happy to be back in a Spurs shirt, and just to see it for another season, like you said, the price is just a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer. 15 million this day and age, you got to be paying that sort of money. Who are you going to get for 15 million that can do everything he can? I mean, he makes passing look easy, he makes everything look easy, and he didn't. It took him months to get going, and we were like, oh, what's going on here? But the stats, look at them stats. He's got more goals than Rashford. You could put him up against, what was it? 11 goals in 20 appearances.
Yeah.
And half of them would have been off the bench. So
yeah, exactly. It's mad.
It doesn't matter whether it was in the Europa League, because at the end of the day, you can only score against who you're up against. So get him another season. He'd be stupid not to. End of the day, it's another name. There'll be players out there that will want to play with Gareth Bale because they'll know he can pick pass. Being in the same team sheet. I mean, it's like when Harry Kane was there. If Kane's there, Bale's there, Son's there. There is players. Yeah, we finished where we did in the league, but you need those players to be able to attract other players, and that goes without saying. So, Gareth Bale, I get excited just when you see his name on the team sheet. You get excited, and you think, oh, Gareth Bale, and you think, oh, you're going to see these driving runs, and being able to see that yesterday was it was like a breath of fresh air. It was like seeing the old Gareth Bale again.
It really was. And I don't know about you, but I felt like he meant it the post, and I'm going to say he did because it did things to me. The way he 1-2'd it, man, I was like, oh my days, you've intentionally done that. So, Tanya, that being said, what did you make of his performance yesterday? I know Max has touched on it, but what are your thoughts?
I just think it shows you that we've not really, I don't think, seen that best of Gareth Bale, because we have to look at the amount of goals he scored. Max has just said it. A lot of the time he's come on as a sub. He's not had a full run of games. And I just think, what did I say about him? Form is temporary, class is permanent. And that is Gareth Bale for me. He's got a wonder of a left foot. And the goals he's actually scored this season, some of them have been absolute belters. I couldn't care less if it's against Sheffield United. I think he's been massively disrespected. I think people are saying he's the flop of the season. Absolutely not. I think he's outperformed the likes of Pepe. We've mentioned Rashford. He scored more goals than Sadio Mane. I think he's been brilliant. And I completely agree with you both. I think we have to keep him next season. We want fans there in the stadium. So when he scores that goal, we can properly celebrate with him and he can celebrate with the fans. I think he's been a lot better than we give him credit for. And you have to say, I think he wasn't. I don't think he was fully happy with Jose, and I don't think Jose was happy with him for whatever reason. Is it that he didn't trust him to do the defensive side of things? Fair enough. But even if we do, get rid of the likes of Mela, which is what I'm hoping for, and we get another right winger, but we still have Bale to come off the bench. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I want a good squad. I want players like that in the dressing room. So yeah, no, I'm all for Gareth Bale. Absolutely love the geezer. Love him.
It's just players as well, like with fans back. And I tell you, who's a massive shout for fans back, Jamie Vardy. Like you can tell how much fans mean.
Yeah,
to it is literally the 12th man having some of them there, because one full stadium, Gareth Bale on a team sheet. Think how loud that place is going to be.
Oh.
It's going to be absolutely rocking. I mean, this is the reason we brought him back, because we thought, well, we thought with a full stadium we would have seen him by now. And if we'll always be kicking ourselves in the teeth that I didn't go to any of these games that meant something. Like the Arsenal game, I wish I went to, but to see Bale back in, that's all we want to see. We're just Bale back in the Spurs shirt with my own eyes. That's what I want to see.
I think that's what we all kind of live for, and it's strange as well because, like I say, I think it is the right move to keep Gareth Bale. And I know someone said that the problem is Bale can only play one game a week. But what we said at the start of this season, I said the squad depth is perfect this year. The quality isn't. But with Bale in that squad depth, we've got the best of both worlds, I feel. I know there's going to be a lot of other things to kind of sort out. But the fact that we'd have him to come off the bench would be wonderful.
And I think, sorry, Hull, and I think the thing with Gareth Bale is that with his age and everything else, I think he'd be happy to sit on the bench. And that is kind of an issue now that you've got with players. You know, they want to be starting week in, week out. He'd be happy to sit on the bench, I think. He likes it at Spurs. And as I said, he's of that age now where he probably wants, you know, to play for a couple more seasons and then pack it in and play golf. So I think, we've got to keep him, man. Do whatever it takes. He's probably building a golf course anyway in his garden. So it's fine. He's sorted.